You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it is Tuesday the 6th of August 2024. You're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and I have to confess, I'm quite pleased with what I've achieved today. So the first thing I did follows on directly from what I was talking about yesterday. I went to the American Embassy at 7:30 this morning, having stayed locally overnight, so I didn't have to get up ridiculously early, and got my visa sorted out. Now, it's quite a complicated process. So the first thing they do is you've printed a confirmation page with a barcode on it, which is effectively your visa reference number. So the first thing they do is scan that to make sure you actually are due to be there today, which obviously I was. They do that outside the embassy. They make you sort of stand in a long queue. So if it was raining, it would be quite unpleasant. They then send you inside through airport-style security. You're not actually allowed to take a laptop into the American Embassy. You also have to demonstrate to them that your mobile phone actually works, presumably so that it isn't a dummy phone that could be a weapon or an explosive, I'm assuming. They did actually challenge me. They then put everything through an airport scanner, and I did actually have a key ring that was in the shape of a bell, because I stayed at a place called the Griffin Bell, and so the key rings attached to the room key was this weird bell-shaped thing, but I showed it to him and they let me in. I then went to stage one, and basically you go in through another door, and they scan the same barcode again and give you an appointment reference number. So why they couldn't have done that at the first stage, I don't know actually. The first one is effectively just checking you have got an appointment so they can let you into the building. This one is then actually putting you in a queue effectively. You then go up in a lift to the first floor and then wait for your number to be called up. Now, they were going through them very rapidly, so I didn't actually have to wait that long before I had my appointment. And in that appointment, I literally walked to a little booth, and there's 15 of these little booths, and they're quite private. And the person said, what are you wanting your visa for? So I explained that I was British Airways crew. They asked for my letter of confirmation from my employer, which I had, and I handed it to them. I showed them my old passport, and they just checked it was all okay. Normally I would have to hand in my old visa, but because I showed it had expired, they didn't make me do that. I then had to go to stage two. Now, stage two is basically fingerprinting. So I had to take all my fingerprints, or maybe just confirming, because I'd had a visa before, it could be that they were just confirming that they were the same fingerprints as last time. I don't know. It felt like they were taking fingerprints, but it's just on an electronic scanner. Anyway, so that's stage two. And then you go on to stage three, which was an interview. And my interview was, why are you applying for a visa? The answer was, I'm British Airways crew. And the next question was, do you permanently live in the UK? And I said yes. And she said, oh, good, visa granted. So that was lovely. I then obviously handed them, this is the bit I don't like, I have to give them my passport. And it says it takes up to a week, but I suspect it won't take that long, because they normally do it in a few days for airline crew, because obviously I can't now work without that passport. Although, to be fair, I am on annual leave, which is why I timed it now. So yeah, I left my passport at the embassy, should receive it in the mail in the next 4 or 5 days. That's what normally happens. And then I can go to America again. Not that I've never not been able to go to America, but yeah. So that's what I did. Then I caught the train home. I caught the train to where I'd parked, drove home. I'm having some work done on the roof of my house, which turned out to be a lot bigger and a lot more expensive, but it can't get any more expensive now. So that's good. And after I'd done a few other bits, so I took a load of stuff to the tidy tip because I'm emptying my loft. And then I sat down and finished editing, did the paper edit of chapter 33. And I'm pleased to say that I have finished chapter 33. So this is the first chapter that is being done using my new write stroke edit model. So it's the first one I've written and then immediately edited. So it's if you watch the live stream, which went on for 2.5 hours, which is quite good going considering how tired I am, You will have seen that I managed to completely finish the chapter and run it through Grammarly, so that's absolutely brilliant. So I will start working on chapter 34 in the next 2 or 3 days. There's one thing I do want to do before I start chapter 34, and that is to do a similar paper edit of my short story that I also wrote whilst I was in Singapore and finished off yesterday morning, the morning before, in the last couple of days anyway, because that's will be published on my website as soon as it's ready. I'm trying to do one of those a month, but I didn't do one in July, so as soon as that's done I shall publish it for August. So yeah, I've had a really productive 10 days. And also I seem to be managing to do the podcast daily, because I only did, as I said, 20 out of a possible 31 in July. And I want to do the full number this month. Is there 30 days in August? 30 days has November, April, June. No, there's 31 this month as well. So I want to do 31 this month. But I'm heading the right way, and I believe the 17th, if I keep doing it daily, will be show 100, which is ridiculous. I can't believe I've done 100 of these things. But today's will be number 89, I believe. Anyway, that's what I've been up to today. The only thing I still need to do in the next couple of days is submit the English Hikikomori to 2 more agents. So I'm trying to keep 3 submissions live at any one time, but I've had 2 rejections. And what I should do as soon as I get a rejection is then send it to another agent or another potential agent. I haven't done that yet, so that's something I need to do in the next couple of days. Anyway, that's the podcast done for today. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.